Have you got a plan A? Are you willing to let go of plan B to put all of your effort and your focus on your plan A? Does the idea of doing this send shivers up your spine? It shouldn't. In today's episode, I want you to think about the ways you may be running a plan B script in your life that's actually holding you back from your plan A. It's time to ditch that backup plan so you can soar. Hey, Creating Maven. I'm Joy Spencer, your reframe specialist, with one important message. Your real work, it's not your job or your career. Your real work is what you create. And what you create is what sets you apart and makes you incomparable. It's your legacy. I'm here to show you a whole new way of working so you can create with your gifts, make a unique contribution, and finally get paid to be yourself. This is Reframe to Create. As I walked through the halls and heard the sound of my heels change from hitting the floorboards to linoleum back to floorboards, I knew this was my school. I don't know at what point it entered my head, but I said to myself, I'm going to come here. I'm going to the school. I'm going to go and be here at Teachers College as a master's student. At the time that I said this, I hadn't even applied. And I'd gone up to New York to visit Teachers College, which is Columbia's graduate and professional school of education. And I just knew on feel and vibe alone that this was my place. And I'd gotten the exact opposite feeling when I went to visit the Harvard campus. And as soon as I stepped into that square, I was like, nope. This feels like William and Mary Part 2. And I've already done that and I'm not going to do it again. Nope. But Teachers College, it just had that feel for me. The entire school is a building that takes up the entire block of 120th Street between Broadway and Amsterdam and Harlem. And I knew after sitting on a class, because I went up to sit in on a class and just sort of like see what it would be like. And I was chatting with Tanya, who was a student there who had been assigned to me to take me on a personal tour. I just knew everywhere I went in that building, I was going to be there. I was going to be living in that hall. I was going to be, there was a dorm attached to it called Whittier. And I just knew I was going to be living there. I just knew all these things. So I went back to DC, back to my job at KEI, back to my work on Access to Medicines. And I started the process of applying to the school. And I asked my boss for a recommendation, which she gave me this amazing glowing recommendation. And I filled out, the application. I filled everything out. I sent it in. And then I waited. And during this waiting period, my boss, Jamie, asked me about it. He's like, okay, so how's it going? He asked me about my other plans, how all my other applications and stuff were going. And I said, oh, no, I didn't apply to any other schools. I want to go to Teachers College. So that's where I applied. That's the only school I applied to. And he just kind of looked at me. And that was my first time realizing, oh, this is what they mean when they say someone looks at you, with a look that's incredulous. And he squinted at me in the way that Jamie squints at people when he disapproves of their foolish behavior. And he just said, well, that's kind of arrogant, isn't it? And I want to ask you what you think about that. Do you think I was arrogant to just apply to one school, to just apply to Teachers College, the one and only school I wanted to apply to? Or maybe you wouldn't be so harsh. Maybe you don't think I was being arrogant. Maybe you just think, maybe you're just being a little naive, unwise, foolish, putting all your eggs in one basket. Maybe you think I didn't know any better. But I want to push back on you a little bit if this is what you're thinking. If, like Jamie, the idea of what I did kind of makes you squirm a little bit. Because I believe that there's something to be said for going full out in your plan A without a plan B. And even though everything in us screams to never jump out of a plane without a parachute, sometimes having a plan B is what will ensure that you never achieve your plan A. So in those moments, you have to have the courage to ditch your plan B and put all your eggs, all your heart, your sweat, your blood and tears, all of it into plan A, come what may. In the end, I did get into teachers college and I drove up to New York City, steely-eyed, full of faith, praying, to God, I'm jumping, catch me, because I just had $40 in my bank account. And I eventually graduated with my master's 2 years later. Teachers college was my plan A and my only plan. And it felt good to push and go through and live out my plan A. But I haven't always stuck with that way of approaching life. Just in case you thought, I'm saying that I'm the poster child for, courage and jumping and, living your life, on plan A and all that. I'm not. In just the year after leaving Teachers College, when I had gone on to teach in Sierra Leone for a year and was back in the States, I wasn't pulling that same type of focus. I remember sitting at Tryst Coffee House in Adams Morgan with my friend Iris and, just wringing my hands and just being so stressed. I was so stressed out. I was looking for a job. I'd been back in DC area for a few months and I still didn't have anything really solid. I was still temping mostly. So I had this bright idea and I was like, okay, I'm going to apply for Teach for America. But Joy, why would I do this? Because at this point, I already knew from my year of teaching in Sierra Leone that I didn't want to teach. I didn't want to continue teaching. But here I was going for a position on teaching in Teach for America to continue teaching someday. And the whole time I'm thinking, okay, this is a good backup plan. If I can't find anything else, maybe I'll want to continue teaching someday. Lies to myself, maybe, I'll get insurance, I'll be able to, get some student loan forgiveness, all good, reasonable, responsible adult thoughts, right? So I'm rattling off all of this to Iris while she's just looking at me over the rim of her coffee mug. And she finally just interrupts me. Joy, you're so focused on setting up your plan B when you don't even have a plan A yet. Boom, right between my eyes. And I think I kind of teared up a little bit when she said it because it was so true. I was so afraid at the time of my life. I was so afraid I wasn't going to get a job. And the fear of what I wanted to avoid, which was being jobless and homeless, it's what was filling up my mind and directing me. I was digging my heels into this plan B because I thought it would help alleviate some of that anxiety and just give me some certainty, but it wasn't. And when I actually got accepted into Teach for America and got a Baltimore assignment, my anxiety went up, not down. Because now I'm like, oh, am I going to accept this? I really didn't want to do it. I took a visit, to one of the schools that I was likely to be assigned to. And as soon as I rolled up into Baltimore, I knew. I was like, oh my gosh. Just the same way I knew that Teachers College was my place, I knew that Teach for America in Baltimore, Maryland was not for me. I was out. I was like, okay. And that helped me snap out of my plan B mindset real quick after that. But at the time, it seemed so wise. It seemed like the right thing to do. And, I wonder if this is the type of thing that you're doing. Are you so focused on hedging your bets and fixing your cushion for a soft landing that you don't even know what your plan A is? Are you so busy setting your situation up for the just in case things don't work out scenario, fixing your parachute? Oh, okay. Well, maybe the parachute thing isn't a good analogy for this because, when you actually do jump out of a plane, something for sure. Beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're going to fall because, gravity. So yeah, you should be fixing a parachute in those situations. But when we're doing this type of thing in our life, when we're doing what I'm talking about, when we're making and going hard on our plan B, it's not the same because the stakes are often not the same. In our scenarios, we don't know for sure that things are going to go down every single time the way we know it when we jump out of a plane. We don't know this for sure in most of our situations. It could go up. Things could go up. Things could go very right. But sometimes we don't even try out of fear. We stay focused on the backup. when we're not even setting up for the front up. Okay. I just made up that phrase, but you know what I mean. I was putting so much energy into getting into Teach for America. I had no brain space, no energy, nothing, no time to think about what I actually did want, what a plan A would look like. I was so focused on the just in case scenario, the second best thing, the thing that's going to, be my backup, that I was lying to myself even about what I wanted to do. And the reality was what I wanted to do was just not it in the plan B. It just wasn't it. It wasn't there. I eventually did get a job after turning down that, Teach for America assignment. And I was able to turn my focus toward doing that and towards what I wanted to get after I turned it down. But what energy I wasted on that plan B. But, I can't be too hard on myself. It's just where I was at the time. And maybe this is just where you are right now for whatever reason. And it's okay. I don't want you to freak out and, feel bad like, oh my goodness, I'm living a plan B life. Oh, the horror, what's going on, No, that's not the point of this. I just want you to bring it down a couple notches, right? I'm just sharing this for you to think. I just want this to be something you think about and something that you consider, play around with in your mind, and see what comes up. You can tell you're focused on your plan B when, like me, you have all of these reasons, right? These good reasons that you're using to convince yourself of why what you're doing and going about is a good idea. But it's not something you're running toward with open arms of excitement and curiosity. It's something you're kind of backing up into in a way. That's why it's your plan B. You're backing up into your backup plan. A plan A feels categorically different. It's expansive and you want to run towards it, in the way that you might want to, run towards a meadow full of, gorgeous flowers. Even if it's got challenges built into it, there's something that's got you pursuing it. You're pursing your lips and you're ready to roll up your sleeves about it. It's got you curious and excited, ready to tackle it and take it down joyously, in a sense. So what do you think? As you're listening to me share this idea and my story, what are you thinking? What are you working hard on right now? Is it plan A or is it plan B? As for me, I can't do it anymore. Y'all, I can't do the plan B, the hedging and all that. It's so antithetical to who I am. Call me bullheaded or whatever. Call it having tunnel vision. Call it whatever you want. It's my gift. It's me. It's what's helped me to walk through life powerfully and intentionally when I do walk that way. That teacher's example just being one of them. And when I'm doing this, when I'm, really just like about the thing that I want and that I'm looking towards, there's a kind of fearlessness that comes over me. And I'm not afraid to fail, whatever that means. In fact, failure takes on a different meaning. It almost doesn't exist anymore in that context when I'm in that mindset. Because if I didn't get into Teachers College that first time, I had no plans to apply to another school. I had every intention of still marching back up to that campus to talk to somebody, anybody, to find out, okay, what could I have done differently on this application? Is there something you guys can do for me? What can I do? Can I apply next year for a second year? Because that is where I wanted to be. I didn't want to go to another school. I wasn't just trying to go to grad school in general as this theoretical idea. Any school, grad school, anyone take me. I wanted to go to Teachers College. I wanted a specific experience there. They had a specific program. There was even a particular professor, Fran Bavris, who I had been researching and who I wanted to work with. It was very specific that I wanted to go there. This is where I wanted to be. Why would I apply to another school that I wasn't interested in going to? And sometimes it's okay to have that level of focus and specificity in life. I know it's not popular to think this way or to be this way sometimes. Folks will try to not get your hopes up, right? They're always worried that you're going to fall apart if you're disappointed, if you don't get what it is that you purposed out to get. But so what if you fail? And so what if you're disappointed sometimes? Are you so afraid of not getting what you want that you don't try for it at all? What if you could get over the fear of not getting what you want? Like we have so much fear of like, well, what if I don't get what I want? Okay, that's life. And what if you can know on the front end, on the front side of disappointment, that you can take it, that you are not going to die if you're disappointed or if you don't achieve what you set out to achieve. You can live through it. You can thrive through it. With that thought that you can get through it, thrive through it, through disappointment, would that thought give you energy and clarity and courage to just go for it, whatever it is? Because plan B living is not going to work. Because some things in life just won't respond to a slack hand. There are plan A's out there that know that they are plan A, and they will not tolerate being treated like a plan B. You have to come correct for your life. You have to come correct for your plan A life. No hemming and hawing and all that stuff. You just have to go full on and go for it. I've seen this in my life and in clients' lives. And frankly, almost everyone's life that I know, when they have stopped hedging their bets and just gone for it, something changes in them. It's not about the circumstances. It's about them. It's about what happens in them. It's about what happens in me. It's about what could happen in you. That plan A focus does not guarantee success, but something changes in you so that you're able to see quote unquote failure differently. It feels different in your body. It looks different to you. You see it differently. You'll be able to use it, grow from it, pivot from it fast, and then go on to what you need to. I've seen this with my clients. I've seen this with myself when I'm in that mindset. Plan B living, hedging your bets, is just a waste of your life and your time. It's not going to give you the safety that you think. And you already know this. If you're going to create what you were born to create, you can't do it by treating it like a plan B. It has to become plan A. There's no other way. So here's what it takes to be about your plan A and chuck the plan B so it doesn't hem you up. It requires courage in 3 ways. 1, having the courage to commit to what you want. This is basic. This is foundation. Knowing what you want and just committing to it. Just saying, this is what I want. I'm committed to it. I'm going for it. The end. 2, having the courage to not get what you want. That's both from an anticipation point of view and in the reality. You have to have courage before you go into and go after what you want to not get it. To anticipate and say, hey, I may not get this and I'm still committed. And then if you don't get it, to be courageous in that moment and say, I didn't get what I wanted, but I went for it. I'm disappointed, but I'm going to learn from this and grow from this and move forward. And 3, having the courage to let go of what you want only after you've gone all in on it. People usually try to avoid this. They usually are letting go of what they want or trying to let go of it and release the intensity and attachment they have to it before they go after it because they're trying to hedge their emotional bets. They're trying to avoid the pain of disappointment. They're trying to brace for the fall. It's not always possible to do this, and it's not even safer. Sometimes you're going to be disappointed and you're going to be okay. This is plan A living. Having the courage to commit to what you want, having the courage to not get what you want, having the courage to let go of what you want only after you've gone all in on it. It's more courageous and it respects the limited time we have on this earth. So ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? Someone who has the courage to go for plan A or someone hiding out in my plan B? The choice is yours. I hope you'll choose plan A. I've shared a lot, and now it's time for you to think and chew on some things. So here's what I hope you'll do. Get out a journal and imagine this. What if today you got to start from scratch, in a sense, but with all of your assets, all of your wisdom, all the knowledge, all the lessons that you've learned so far? The only thing you're dropping is regrets from past mistakes and regrets around missed opportunities and that plan B. Drop those things and keep your assets and lessons. You get to start from here. whatever that means for you. And as you think about this, what comes up for you? What would you do if you were starting from scratch? Write it down, then sleep on it and come back to it tomorrow. No hedging, no hemming and hawing, no plan B, just plan A, full on. I can't wait to see it. See you soon, my Creating Maven. Until then, remember to always ask yourself, what will I create?